Okay? We're gonna try and land on an idea. Make yourself comfy. If you need a chair, I will find one. There's one over here. Come on into the circle, brother.
That's good, y'all. Is it right here?
There's a chair over there if you want to take a seat. Okay, so let's start with, okay, what did we feel worked? Anybody?
After a while, we all kind of like settled into the same rhythm. At first, it started off a little rocky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Anything else?
What's the drums? Okay, there's more rhythm, so people started congregating to the beat,
Right.
which is helpful. And I think we ended up in similar keys, or I couldn't tell honestly.
Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah, that's a couple of things. So now you're already kind of getting into it, but what do we feel like didn't click?
I think there was like no unified idea of what the chord progression was.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Right. Any other thoughts?
I at first I feel like I had a hard time figuring out where we were kind of repeating, like when we were all kind of looping back together, what the kind of like macro kind of structure was. And at some point I kind of took something and then stuck with like that structure.
Right.
And so I don't know if that was the right thing to do, but.
Right. Well, yeah, I'll say laying back is, especially from an improvised jam context, it's a useful skill.
Yeah.
There's never any rush. That's like it is such a powerful affirmation. Like whenever you're on stage, like no matter what you're doing. It made me think of you actually too, bro, because I feel like rappers, when we're in our thing, sometimes we're like, oh, I gotta hit this next bar or next beat. It's like, no, this is my time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cameron might be like, ooey gooey,
Yeah.
chewy. I love bluey, kablooey. You never knew me. Like it doesn't feel like he's forcing anything, right? As an example. So it can feel like there's a lot of this time pressure. And I think one, I want to say for what we're considering leads, like vocals, anybody who's like representing that part of the ensemble, don't feel like you have to start when everybody else starts, especially not. You may see this, I do that a lot at the jam, and you may not have peeped it, but like when, a tell when something isn't working for me, is I'll be like this. Doesn't mean it's bad, necessarily, but it's like, nope. It's not presenting what I need for me to give what I feel like I can give in this moment. So, if you're not comfortable yet, don't come in. Let the music build, let it swell. Again, we're telling a story, and sometimes it clicks right away, and then we're like in it. Sometimes it's like a 2-minute 60s R&B song. Sometimes it's an EDM song at a rave. You know what I mean? Like it's like sometimes it might take 15 minutes. You know, sometimes it might take a second, but just don't feel that time pressure. That being said, and I don't want to pile on too many ideas at once, but the main thing I want to say is I want us to try that idea again. We're gonna get to the point where we actually analyze what we're doing, but for now we're gonna lean into the mystery from a chord progression standpoint. What I want to see happening is more sequential, okay? So more like the tempo being set, or you guys can play together, but we did kind of all like, you know what I'm saying? Don't feel any pressure to add in anything until, like if any of you are feeling like, this isn't clicking yet, sit out, right? Once they're settled, as an example, then maybe one of you guys can come in, but neither of you guys should come in until it starts to feel a little more settled. And that's gonna make everyone's life easier, because then they're not like second guessing what they're doing, you're not second guessing, it's like, okay, the idea is set, right? So let's try it again and just leave a little bit more space. And I think I had something else. Well, I'm sure it'll come up again.
Should we discuss the chord progression, or does it have to be mystery?
I know you're hungry for the facts, but I want to try it one more time before we're gonna do that. But before, I want to see if we can lock, and we're just gonna use our ears. That's really important.
On guitar, I almost don't care, but on bass, I feel like I'm responsible to play the root on one.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Exactly, and that's why, and I know that's like scary and like, but that's what I want us to lean into, that feeling, because this is the real deal, right? You're not always gonna know.
I do.
You're not gonna have the page in front of you all the time. So let's try one more time. Let's leave some space. Don't feel any pressure, time pressure. Oh, that's the last thing I want to say to David, our timekeeper, our rhythm master. I want you to know that your role is to be secure, right? It's really important for the rhythm section to establish a time and to stick to that time, because everyone's looking to you to keep that time. If you start trying to, if people aren't coming together and you're trying to fit everybody else's time, now we're all lost. You see the difference? So like if you decide, no, this is what the time is, it's easier for us to lock than the other way around. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, and I'll help you, because I know you're still feeling it out. But what I would love actually is if you start, you create your idea again, and then we're gonna bring in the rhythm, and then we'll all fall in. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try it.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever.
Well,
if you remember. David, just wait. Let's keep this out. Give it a little more space. No rush at all. I can already hear it developing. Okay, good. Actually, let's stop it again. We're we're very close. Now, but I feel like the pattern's shifting a lot.
Yeah.
So try not to overcomplicate it for yourself.
Okay.
Pick 3 chords
Okay.
and then just loop that.
Okay.
Yeah. You had some great ideas though. Two, three, four. Right. Good. Okay, good. It's already feeling more cohesive. Alright, so now I think this might be a good time to add another layer. Yes, keep it going. Beautiful. Say it loud whenever you start feeling comfortable. Alright, Caleb, let's leave a little bit more room for Caleb. Okay, nice. Okay. Alright, so that felt like stronger from my standpoint. What do we feel like worked better in that context this time?
Having what's it called? A chord progression that kind of loops into itself.
Right, like a repetitive
Yeah.
progression. Absolutely agree. Anything else you think made it a lot better?
I think the layering, like hearing, because like if 2 people play at once, they don't know what each other's doing. So by layering it in, you can listen to see how that person layers it in, and then they can layer it in again.
Exactly. It reminds me a lot of like when 2 people are trying to, and they're like, oh, no, you go, no, you, no. And now we're not saying anything. Or it's very hard to get a message across because we're trying to talk at the same time. But it gave you an opportunity. Again, there's no rush. So you didn't know what the chord progression was, but you figured it out this time. One, it was a little bit more simplified, but then also you had all the time to like, okay, I hear it before you even started playing the notes, right? Okay, so yeah, I definitely feel that. Okay, what do we feel like could have been stronger?
Last week we talked about sections, so distinct dynamics, structure.
Yeah, I would agree. I think right now we're still just like creating our baseline, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like the core idea. So we haven't gotten to that point yet. I agree with that. But yeah, we can start playing with dynamics. Anything else?
Like filling space, like more in a way that we're not stepping over each other.
Right. In a way, I think that what you're talking about is the same thing in that when I told you, hey, like let's leave space.
Yeah.
So defining sections, at least for me, when I'm thinking of a verse section, or generally, I'm thinking, okay, maybe less syncopated, longer notes, and probably quieter, to really allow us to like lock into whatever the lead instrument is saying.
Yeah.
Whether you have words or not, right? And that can be voice, it can be anybody. I think the same thing should be happening. I don't hear that enough with solos either. If we're already at 9.5 when someone starts coming and soloing, sometimes you come in blazing and that's exactly the vibe, but a lot of times I find myself wishing that instead we were like, everyone was like, oh, let's pull back a little bit, and that's gonna leave space for us to build again. And then you have the opposite problem with bass solos, because then everyone drops out entirely and then there's no music. So by the way, that's the common, tell me if I'm wrong, but like when a bass player is doing bass solo, everyone just disappears, and then the bass player is like, oh, but I have nothing now. Can I have a little something to work with?
Yeah, but it's such a rare occurrence, It's like if you saw a unicorn, you.
Right. You're awestruck. You can't even you don't know what to say. But so yeah, I think so when we're thinking of sections, we are like talking about dynamic levels. We're talking about space, and I think that's a great observation. Selah, what's your experience right now in the music as a lead?
I feel it just takes me a second to like latch on to enough of what's going on, but then also not get overwhelmed by listening to all of it, basically.
Okay.
Because it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to try to listen to all of it and then make something that works. I have to almost like listen to like one instrument and then kind of connect to that. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, and that's yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just like fine tuning my like ear to kind of feel like where can I fit into what's already happening.
Did you find any particular instrument was distracting you or making it hard for you to hear an idea?
I think I just kept going back and forth between hearing guitar and bass, and just kind of being like, okay, they're obviously going kind of different directions intentionally, but
right.
then vocally to kind of figure out which layer, and then also piano and guitar also going
Right.
two directions.
So which did you end up landing on one as your guiding?
I think I kind of fell between like the piano and guitar melodies.
Okay.
Somewhat.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I think that's actually a really practical tool. A lot of the time, I think when we're not locking, it's a matter of focus. I remember last week I was telling you, let's lock in. Because us being together, there's a lot of things you could be listening to, but us listening to each other is going to be more valuable from my standpoint. I think that depending on where you are, and I feel like bass players, I mean everyone navigates this, but bass players know like, number one, you're supposed to lock in with the drums, right? And I kind of think of bass as like the bridge between the worlds, like the rhythmic world and the like melodic harmonic world. So you're kind of navigating, it's like, okay, what do I need to tune into? Because you can be locked in with the drums, but if you're just not hearing the chord progression, it's not going to sound great either necessarily, right?
You just play all dead notes, just like.
Yeah, sometimes that's a vibe. hip hop, you know. But that being said, yeah, like focusing in on an instrument, and I think what I'm gonna say is, just choose one. And if you're starting to feel adventurous, then you could zone into somebody else. But like, if you're like Raina, right?
Rainy, yeah.
Raina.
Rainy, yeah.
Rainia. If Rainia is like kicking the thing that's like attracting you, just lock into that and then like just tunnel vision that. And start there as opposed to allowing too many voices, right? Like if everyone's talking over each other in your own head, right? It's kind of hard to like, wait, hold on, like it's distracting. Okay, so I want us to try again. Were you mostly going for? It seems like we're not at the point where we're at lyrics yet. I feel like I want y'all to collaborate on the lyrical component, and we're gonna get you on keys in a bit. I know you want to play some keys, so we're gonna get you on there. We're gonna flip. Yeah, let's try it again. And I guess the focal point this time. Well, let me ask each one of you. Do you have an instrument that you're focused on while you're playing? Are you choosing, or are you just listening to everyone? Huh?
Yeah, I have to.
True. And okay, so you're
But
locked in.
also drums and keyboard, because I have to play the root note and I have to.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be one, but you got to know what your priorities are. Is my point, right? Who are you locking into?
I always listen to the bass player, like I feel like first, and like when I'm trying to figure out where I'm going on the guitar.
Okay, all right. Respect. I feel like that's a good strategy. There's this negotiation, I think sometimes, because a lot of the times keys and the guitar kind of like, it can get really mushy if we're not making sure we're hearing each other here.
Yeah.
But we can get to that. So let's just go ahead and say this ahead of time. Who do you feel like you're going to focus on for this round?
Probably piano.
Okay. No, let's not probably.
Yeah, I feel
Okay,
like
let's-
that will be easier maybe.
Yeah, let's try that. Let's try it. Let's see. But okay, yeah, let's just be definitive. Like piano.
Yeah.
Piano, we're in there. Okay. Who are you listening to?
The drums.
That's right. This does have a right and wrong answer. Okay, and Crispy, I feel like I want to.
Everyone, no.
Yeah, right. No, I mean, sometimes that works. Let's get you in on some. I actually feel like can we make this the percussion section? Are you down to be the cowbellist?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
The cowbeller.
I didn't even see that there.
Nice. Okay. All right. Let's try it again, and I'm gonna count us in this time because we have an idea, right? Okay. Everybody ready?
Yes.
Are we seeing the same idea?
Same idea. Yeah, we're gonna same idea.
Sounds good.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Take your time. like it's coming together a little more? Okay, so now I feel like we need to take it up a notch. I feel like we have a core idea, but now we need to get into that detailed work. I want some words. Okay. Oh, and by the way, so there's like, there's a give and take with doing this in a group dynamic. I think what's actually really powerful about it is hearing the context for everybody allows us to be better at our individual thing, right? So maybe some of the stuff we talk about, some of it may make sense to you, saying some may not, or once, because we haven't even gotten into like more theory section of this, but like let it wash over you and allow yourself to just hear these different perspectives, okay? So, and this is a big one because instrumentalists generally don't pay attention enough to lyrics. Hot take. If they pay attention to them at all. But they're really important because to me, like, like the difference between, the example I give for whatever reason is like, if you play out on leaves, which everyone pretty much learns if you do jazz, versus if you know the lyrics out on leaves, like, okay, I don't even know the lyrics, so I'm messing up. But like, I can't think of them right now. But like, but the point being that the difference between, like, even if you take the title and you're like, well, what do autumn leaves sound like? How do I reflect it? It's not like the changes are C to F to B flat. It's like, no, what would autumn leaves sound like? Like what would, sometimes, the arrangement might start with like a cascading piano from the high register, like, oh, okay, we're implying this falling of the leaves. We're like, what register are we gonna be in? Are we playing high? Are we playing low? It's like, okay, what does fall feel like? Does fall feel like it's like the chords are like dense, or does it feel open? Like, it helps you, informs you of your choices, as opposed to it all just being a mystery of like good. You see what I mean? Okay, so words. All right. Are you at this point? I was feeling like you came to us with a strong, like you were developing a stronger melody idea. Were you thinking about words or not yet? A tiny bit. Did any come to mind in your mind?
Yeah. I just kept hearing basically just like on repeat. I know. That's all.
Okay. Okay.
Like Ain't No
That felt
Sunshine.
like it.
I know. Yes.
It just fit into that melody naturally, I guess.
Okay, and I think you should lean into that idea. Again, it's like you don't have to do like a lot. Having one phrase, your power phrase, you know what I mean? I know is powerful. You know what I mean? Like, not I think. I know, okay? I know. So if you lean into that idea, and to me it's like sometimes we're afraid to like step out, but if you step into that idea, more words and ideas will start to come to you. But first you gotta step into it. Right? So you gotta say it, and you say it again, and maybe you only know, but just knowing is fine. But maybe other things start coming to you once you step into that, right? Can I ask you, Crispy, like, when you're looking to find lyrics, what methods do you use when you're trying to look for more words?
I either, like, if it's like we're just talking about freestyling or songwriting.
Well, let's do both. Let's start with freestyling, like especially in the moment.
Yeah, if it's freestyling, if it's in the moment, I really just look for, I try to become more aware of my surroundings, and like sometimes if there's someone like a singer or somebody that she might say something that might spark something, like a thought. Like if she was just saying I know, I might start thinking about like, okay, like I know, okay, I believe, faith. I start thinking about words that have to do with like knowing.
Right.
And then what am I knowing, Or do I not know? And like that's kind of a subject too. It's like I don't know. Like maybe I start freestyling about how I don't need to know what I'm doing right now, but I just need to go with the flow.
Right.
So yeah, sometimes surroundings or if somebody else starts it, like that kind of triggers something in my brain.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Right. So like word association, basically, like forming. To me, at least, it's kind of like a tree, or like whatever. It's a tree, and like whatever that word, like that phrase, I know is the root, and then you have branches, right? So it can go down multiple avenues, but yeah, from know might come faith. What else did you say? You said
I believe.
I believe.
Or
These
I-
are
yeah.
and then those also can sprout branches, right? But so it's like there's a sequentialness to it. Like again, don't listen to everything at once. You make a choice, and then you can go farther down that road. So once you lead to I know, you may have. Can you think of 1 to 3 words that you think of from I know? Fired. Sorry. Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good to see you. Here, you can get the.
I really like the advice to your younger self in there.
The advice to your younger self, you said?
Yeah.
It's oh, that's the bass player. Why don't you sit on? You can sit on the couch.
Couch, yeah.
Yeah, sit on the if you don't mind.
I don't.
Good to see you. Oh, are you gonna sing? Okay, all right, nice. Mix it up. Okay, so right, did a word occur to you? Even just one. What from I know? What else occurs to you?
It went from I know to you know to
Yeah.
We know. Oh.
They know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like you see me, I see you. I don't know why I want this whole
No, yeah, and listen, like
path.
maybe it's silly, maybe it's not, but like again, it's like allowing yourself to go down that road. So we went like don't get locked in your head about like which way to go. Especially when you're improvising, there's no time for that. And honestly, the less you allow yourself to be an editor, the better it sounds. Okay? If you're like it's like life, guys. Like to me, the brain is a great advisor. But you have to let your heart lead. If you don't, I mean, you don't have to do anything. Fuck what I'm saying. But like, if you do it the other way, if you're just trying to analyze everything and then giving your heart permission to do something, it creates problems. You can go out of balance either direction, to be clear. But what I'm suggesting is, in that moment, you have to allow instinct. You have to let your gut allow it to exist. And allow it to be, and then as it's happening, not before it's happening, you modify. You see the difference? You're like, you were thinking about I know, and you let that sit in your head. But if you allowed that to exist, what happened? Then you got to, you know, then you got to, you see, I see, then you get to, okay, we're thinking about seeing. What does it mean to see? You know what I'm saying? So allow that path, just like allow yourself to choose that path. Does that make sense? Okay, let's try it again. I think also I want you to are you comfortable doing a piano duet?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Crispy, come on.
Yeah, I can also move to uke or guitar if needed too. Whatever you guys.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't we do that? Because you're the songwriter. Can you show Crispy the chords real quick, though?
Oh yeah.
It's simple enough.
It's just C, G, J, and then it's a little syncopated.
Mm-hmm. I do want us to because I want us to the next portion after we're coming with the chord idea, but then we're gonna get to the all right, how do we take it up a notch? How do we take this versus how do we take really like getting some shapes, whatever, you know what I mean? Creating some additional flavor, some variety. Yes. I don't think that uke's in tune, but
I should probably use the snort over there.
Okay, great. All right, so now we have Crispy on keys. We got a new ukeist. And Jess, I assume you're looking to. Don't. You gonna get shy on me? You gonna get shy on me?
I think
I will observe for a bit. So because it's like I've never done something like this before.
No, absolutely. I'm not throwing you into the water. Don't worry. I'm just saying, which voice is what you'd like to focus on, right?
Yes.
What's it
Okay.
called?
By the way, you're not alone. This is a fellow dancer.
Hey.
So you know.
Wait, no,
Who else is a
it's
dancer?
not. No, it's not. Don't listen to me. It is. Hold on. It is. Sorry.
Are you trying to remember what
Yeah, what the strings are.
G, C,
G, C,
E,
E and
E,
A.
A?
Yeah. Oh man, that was really close. If you listen to me.
Wait, hold on. Are you doing it from the highest note should be G,
oh, whoops.
meaning the string closest to you should be G. G, then below that is C, then below that is E, then below that is A. Yeah. I was getting that like string anxiety. That shit. I'm like, oh god, it's gonna snap.
I have a scar in this finger from a string that snapped.
Really? Ooh, that's trauma. Yeah. No, I feel like that's a great like analogy for anxiety. It's just like a string that's
Yeah.
endlessly being tuned like higher and higher, like it just doesn't. You're like, what is about to happen? Okay. All right. So we have our assignment. And we're gonna keep it short and sweet, so we don't, so it doesn't like linger too much. But words. Let's get some words. Let's get some lyrics. Let's try and see if we can have the music reflect the lyrics that Sela is saying. Can we try that, guys? We down?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, and. Wait, hold on. All right, so we switched piano player, so this is fair. But the timing is dun 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 2, 3 back C G A, and I'm not in the right notes, but you know what I'm saying. Does the time make sense to you?
Mhm.
Okay. 1, 2, just me and Christy. Ah. Right again. There we go. Good. up a notch because I think we have a core idea. This is enough for us to work with. For you, Jess, I mean, this is for everybody, but a lot of it, and you've heard me talk about this idea of the two-step, right? It's about having that. You got to bring down your barrier to entry, right? If you're starting with like a windmill, I don't know why, whatever. You know, if that's where you're starting from, you're forever like, I'm not ready. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, what's the how can you bring it down to a point where you can just start being in motion, right? So for you, to get you comfortable, I have a feeling I think you know more than you're allowing for us to see, but that's okay. One note and maybe one word. That is, and sometimes, especially in improv, that's really important because if you don't have something already written, like you can be like, what do I do? Smallest seed possible. Pick one note that you feel like sounds good and riff on that. Find one note that sounds good, don't even really worry about changing even though I sound like a robot right now. But in music, that can really work. One note samba, okay? Just choose your note and allow the music to move around you, right? Don't feel all this pressure to like you don't have to do all that yet. If you start to feel comfortable, you start to feel more flexible, then you can start flexing a little more. Bad joke. You can start. You can be a little bit more agile, but at first, we'll just choose a note, and then maybe we're on a whole I know motif. So let's just call I know the phrase, and I want you to try and pick a note for now, just so you can get your voice warm. Why don't you just sing in the background a little bit, and then at some point we're gonna get you on that mic. So I'm letting you know ahead of time, but we're gonna switch it up, okay? And you're all gonna support each other. Okay. Any questions so far or things? Anything that you guys want to say before we add on?
Can we venture a little bit from what we're doing?
That's exactly where we're going, brother. Okay, so venturing. So we gotta. Okay, so here's the things. If it were me, if it was me and I was you, these are some of the things I would do. Okay, right now we mentioned this relationship between guitar and keys. A lot of the time, what I find is the problem is not having clarity in your role. Mm-hmm. So when I'm playing either of these, usually it's keys, but whatever, I'm thinking, who am I? Who am I? Am I the rhythm? Am I playing a melodic part? Or am I playing what I'm going to say like pads, like a textural part? Am I laying like a mat of sound that's just like gives us texture? Am I emphasizing what's happening in the drums? Or am I creating a unison melody or a counter melody with the melodic parts? So once one falls into, so if let's say you're playing texturally, right, which is just like these long chords, to me that means you're going to be one of the other two out of the three. Mm-hmm. So you get to choose. Okay, do I feel like I need to play more rhythm, or am I gonna like create more melodic information? Or let's say, okay, if you start something and you're playing something melodic, what might you choose to complement what they're doing?
Question?
That's a question.
For me, and that's why, for me, like being on keys, that's where I'm trying to get to, where I can tune in to a certain melody or an instrument, a certain vibe, and know, okay, am I just playing like little notes here and there, or am I like the foundation? Am I the loop,
Right.
Lately I've been comfortable just being like the loop, because I want to get better to where I can be the loop, and then when I feel like there's a time or there's a pocket, I can like venture off a little bit and play higher or lower,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's still some growth.
Oh, for us all. For us all. But you seemed like you had an idea or something?
No, I just like
You're
that.
just yes, we can affirm each other, by the way. Feel free to like snap it up. Can you play the part you were playing? Mm-hmm. So just me and you, and then we're gonna talk about what you can do here, okay?
Okay.
1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so how would you call it? How would you define what they just did? What kind of part is that?
It's like it's almost like a small like lead. Like there's like a little riff. It's like a riff. It's not necessarily like a melody, but it's a little guitar riff.
I personally would say it is a melody, because again, it's not. You're not necessarily. I mean, I guess in the best circumstances, you are doing all three at once, kind of, right? If you're being melodic, you're being rhythmic, you're being harmonic. But to me, there's like melody. There's also some nice. I like the rhythm of that line, right? So in my mind, so I think you guys are doing the thing. Is I guess what I'm saying. So you're playing at this point. You've been playing more of a textural idea, and you're playing more of a melodic and rhythmic idea. But let's switch it, just for the sake of it. So now you play the chords more as like textural, like long, and I want you to try and come up with a rhythmic idea. Right. And by the way, this is a strong way to create different sections. Even if you don't, I know you want other chords. We're gonna get there. But
No, I'm good.
oh, you're good?
I'm good.
Come on, I want more chords. But I'm glad you're good. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's a strong way to create other sections. Even if you don't have different chord changes, you can then say, oh, let's by adding more rhythmic variety, by being more syncopated on the bass. I think that's what I would like to see. Where like our chorus idea, now you're being a little bit more, you show off a little bit more, quote unquote, right? Add more ghost notes, add more, a little bit more melodic interest in your line, besides just holding down that, the root of each
Is
thing.
it okay if I like if I try to do that? I think occasionally I will miss the root note.
That is perfectly fine.
Okay.
And we'll talk, and no, really, it is really actually fine. I don't want to ramble, but I'll say we have a core, I think, in at least in the Western context, in the music we're playing, we have a core identity or role, but don't let it become a straitjacket. Know that, like, that should be maybe your primary focus, but great bass players are going to drop the root. They drop the root all the time.
Yeah, they're just drop chords now.
They may only hit the root occasionally, like, and they're not necessarily playing on the beat a lot of times. They may be doing more syncopated stuff, depends on the style, but just don't allow that to be so constraining that you don't allow yourself to try things out. Play the third sometimes,
Okay.
or the fifth, you know what I mean, and you're gonna find some more interesting stuff. So I want to hear that too. Like, we're gonna get more into that, but that's a real bass player trick. Like, he's like, oh yeah, and then people are gonna be like, oh, and they're all gonna make that face. Okay, do we feel like we understand our assignments currently? Jess, are you singing? Are you singing yet? Okay, then okay, all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna double check, Okay, let's try it one more time, and now let's switch it around. So now you are rhythm,
Okay.
and you
Let's see.
are harmony. So just focus on chords now, okay? You know what the chords are, right? Okay. Wait, hold on, Crispy. So here's what we'll do. We'll let Caleb like drop the chord progression. We're gonna play it, and then you start adding on a part,
Okay.
a more rhythmic part.
Oh, okay.
Think of the chords now more like when you're rapping. Like think of a rhythmic pattern, like a flow with the chords.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. notes.
More staccato.
Nice. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. Okay, everybody. getting somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, what do we think? Because I was starting to feel the energy now. Like I was like, okay, But what was giving it the A factor to you? What do you think was the difference between what we had before and what we have now?
I think everyone's kind of settling in a little bit. In the beginning, especially around a bunch of new people, right? You're like a little anxious and you don't want to sound bad, you don't want to be rude or anything. And like after a while you sit in a room with people, you jam for long enough, you start to kind of like, I don't know, be a little more free.
Everyone felt more free for sure.
Right, I agree. So that there's the socially conscious aspect of it. Musically, what do you think was different this time than the times before it?
More playful.
Okay, more playful.
Yeah.
And I agree, but let's try and put it in like musical language. What do we think musically changed? Tangibly.
The little accents, like when you said play like more like staccato, I was like, staccato, okay, like that helps
Okay. Anything else? Did you guys notice anything? Do you agree with that? What do you think?
We're all. No, sorry. I've been participating too much. You go.
No. Participating just enough. Okay, it's great. All right, what were we gonna say?
I feel like you initiated kind of like a different sort of section, even though we're playing this like kind of playing the same changes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you initiated like a higher like kind of I don't know, intensity section where it was a little more loose and like a little louder.
Okay, a
and-
little louder. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I was. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just like we built energy up to that, and then arrived at a place, and then I feel like people kind of lean into it a little more open. Like,
Yeah, I was definitely trying to lean into the rhythmic aspects.
Mhm.
Right? Now I'm like, okay, let's push the rhythms. I was hearing, like, again, we have maybe a core identity, but it's mixy, right? So like you, even when you were playing the chorus, there was still rhythm there. You were still adding like rhythmic variety, and then when you guys were playing together, I was really feeling the back and forth of that. Okay, and then I'm trying to emphasize that, give us that motion, right? And so you have all these little rhythms that are playing together, and I think and including with the bass, the voice, everything. But so it felt like everything had its space, but then everybody was giving us a little more, right? So all right, so now I feel like, and I like this kind of more dancey beat, because sometimes you gotta give it a second.
Yeah.
But this feels, I like this better than the first part. Am I wrong?
I like the first one more actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I feel like now, because also it doesn't have to be both ways. Like I feel like I like that it developed into that idea.
Mhm.
Sometimes the question is like, what's the lead idea and then your secondary idea? Like, there's a world where we're doing it, and then it moves into more of a slow section. Sometimes that's like what the bridge is, right? Where so now it gets slowed down. It's halftime, and it opens up. You can do it either way, depending on like what you want the vibe to be, right? But what did you like about the other way better?
I think this was more like it was very repetitive in a way, so I was like drifting into dance moves. I'm thinking in terms of dancer perspective, but I think the first one I was very curious like what will happen next, so it was very like intriguing to me.
Interesting. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
It felt more mysterious somehow.
Yeah, the first one was more like I don't know, like I was waiting for something, and it just was like, oh, what's gonna happen next? But I think the rhythm in the second one was more locked in, so it was very like, yeah.
Can I get the other dancer's perspective?
I get like a devil's advocate maybe that more dance part section it gives you structure to you can freestyle with it. It gives you the steadiness, but you can do whatever you want.
That is true.
I think I see what you mean though. I think, right, the ambiguity because it's almost more like, it makes me think of the difference between more abstract painting versus like a still life, right? It's like when things are less defined, there's more room for your imagination maybe to like fill in the gaps or try different things, right?
Yeah.
At some point, I do think I feel like the more danceable part, that it's like that tension and release. Now we're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So sometimes that can be nice, right? Like you build up a song and maybe it's all wishy-washy and then it goes, and then we're like, okay, now we're in it. So I don't think it's like one or the other, but there's to me, it's like the question of how distinct we're being. Without going into a whole nother tangent about this, I will say this, I think I would argue that it's important in music to think less about right and wrong and more about making your case. Expressing what you're saying in a way that is convincing. It feels aligned, right? As opposed to this is what should be happening. There is no this is what should be happening. That's a subjective concept. That's a construct. Even saying that privileging something that sounds good to us over something that sounds bad to us is a construct. It's our idea of what is correct. Like, oh, this has a sweeter sound, or it's less dissonant, so therefore it's better. That's an idea. Someone argued that, noise musicians might argue the exact opposite. There are plenty of people who would. There are plenty of jazz musicians who are like, no, that doesn't, for me, I want it grosser. You know what I mean? Like, I want it nasty. So, making your case as opposed to right or wrong, right? So so in a way, that's why I think both are correct. If you're being a little bit more ambiguous, then it's like leaving more to the other person's imagination, the listener's imagination, versus making up, like, wanting to be exact and say this is where I want us to go. Does that make sense to you guys? It's I don't know if you guys think about this when you talk, but it's something to consider, like, when you're having a conversation. Because I'm verbose, and I know it. Like, I say a lot of words, but sometimes I'm like, let me say less words. Like, usually what happens is I'll talk too much, and then I'll be like, and then someone will be like, ooh, and that is my cue, shut the hell up. Leave space. If someone's like, instead of keeping on going, this is actually, I originally learned this from, who knows Wynton Marsalis? No? Okay. Y'all should check out Wynton Marsalis, incredible jazz trumpeter, also, like, incredible educator. But he was having a session with some younger musicians, and one of the things he said to them was like, listen, if I'm talking to you and I'm like, I go, hey man, I really like your sound. What strings are you using? And I'm like, okay, is that a hollow body? Versus if I said, hey, I really like your sound. Allowing it to linger gives it its impact. So instead of like jumping to idea to new idea to new idea by leaving that space, now we're having a different conversation. You see what I'm saying? So negotiating that space. How defined do I want to be versus how much space do I want to leave for everyone else's imagination? That's what's so cool about, I guess, life. Like sight, sound, your brain fills in the gaps. So like based on our cultural context, if you don't play the roots or the root isn't there, doesn't mean people don't hear it. You see what I'm saying? If you don't, sometimes you want to give something more defined, but like jazz musicians do all the time, they play rootless voicings and they play things that are more abstract. But people have their own ideas, and now we may all not land on the same idea, but we can have two different ideas that we both like simultaneously, which is kind of crazy.
So you're saying like a piece of music can imply two different things in two different people's heads? Absolutely.
And they can both like it and they can both sound good. You know what I mean? Like we actually, wow. As I say it, I'm really thinking about it. Like, right? Like, so everyone's hearing different music for a variety of reasons, you know? Some of us like have, I don't know, better hearing even. Like, we have like different relationships to the music, and then we're also interpreting it based on our life, based on what we've heard before. And so like, I don't know, I'd be curious, you know, someone who's from somewhere in Africa or China might hear the same music differently based upon their cultural context and how music is applied in their region. If someone in North China might hear it differently than South China. You see what I'm saying? Like, people in Memphis hear it different than people in New York. You know what I'm saying? Like the same chords, the same ideas based on their relationship to sound.
That just blew my mind a little bit. So like, you know how like when you hear music from another country, music that's really unfamiliar to you, sometimes it sounds like interesting, but it's like not that good. You wouldn't like bump it on your way to the subway, right? And I wonder if people listen to music that we could all agree is amazing and be like, yeah, I just like, it's interesting, but like, I wonder if like there's other people who, like, I don't know, I wonder if like Western music sounds weird to some people.
I'll say my parents, so they're immigrants from China, and they say like, oh, R&B is so tiring, like, it's just so like Alicia Keys, all the big like singers, they're like, oh my god, don't you feel tired listening to this?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like they feel like it's too much, kind of?
I feel like it's too much. It's like, don't you feel tired, like, listening to this, like,
all the gymnastics.
All the gymnastics, yeah.
Yeah.
and then they tend to like the very clear, like, I don't know, like clear cut voice. It doesn't have to be big or anything, but it's like clean and meaningful and like soft or like clean, I guess, like without the runs.
Right. Yeah. See, this is yeah, exactly. It made me think last night. Shout out to Olivia. She was telling me she was watching the show Hacks, which is a good show, by the way. You saw on HBO. You should check it out. I don't know why I just free promo that show, but it's really good. It's really good. Anyway, but in the last episode, they were in Singapore, and so they were music in the background, and from their context, Olivia's context, is like, oh, this is calypso. But it wasn't calypso. It was not defined as calypso. It was something, I don't even know what style it would be technically called, but I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like calypso to me too, because I know calypso, but I don't know that style. I don't have that language or that context for folks in Singapore. Like, see what I'm saying? So again, we're interpreting it through our lens, right? And our value judgments about music. And that's what's cool. Like, it's not a right or wrong. Like, your parents, Alicia Keys and your parents are both right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, some vocalists are gonna argue like that's taking away from the music. And then some people be like, well, no, actually, I think this is expressing more fully what I'm trying to convey. Like, I keep on falling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, depending on who you're talking to. Anyway. All right. Song? Back to song? Okay. So, and also, what time is it?
6:16. Wait, no. This
That's
is
what?
8:46.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, we time travel. That's crazy.
My friend.
We gotta remember this song. We gotta talk to some scientists.
Yeah, this clock is wrong.
Okay. I know.
Yeah. Somebody gave me this. My friend gave me this phone, and I haven't.
Yeah.
changed it.
Fair enough.
My
Fair
actual
enough.
phone is over there, so I didn't. I thought it was.
We're all learning so much.
Yeah,
You have two phones like the song?
What's that?
2 phones. I got 2 phones.
I have. I think if I hear it, I know what song that is.
No, I'm just asking, you have 2 phones?
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Yeah, like I need to switch the numbers and use the phone.
Okay, in short, wow, I think we just went on a little thought odyssey there. So, but we have this idea. Let's take I want us to get some concrete ways to take this up. Also, I like you on the uke, but I want y'all both on the piano because I feel like we can get into some other textural things. Like, I want to make sure everyone walks away with their seed, like the thing that they can take and work on to develop however makes sense, okay? So there's another chair. If you need to move the amp, we can do that. Okay. All right. So now.
For you on the piano.
Oh, me too.
So okay,
It's a
creating
skill I want
creating
I want
variety.
strictly
All right. So
Mm.
now let's get into the nitty gritty. So who knows what key we're in?
C major, A minor?
Classic. Ooh, nice.
Well, so like, I'm always looking for the pentatonic scale, like, to
Right.
be real.
Right. But you think of it as E minor?
A minor.
A minor. Okay. Right. The relative minor. Okay. Great. Okay. Yes. Crispy, do you know the C major scale?
Yes.
Can you play it for me? Correct. All right, so can you play the A minor scale? Nice. I wanted to point that out. So number one, sometimes we get lost in the language of like, what is a scale? You know, what is it? Like, what does it mean actually, right? Let me ask y'all first. What is a scale? What is it?
It's a subset of the chromatic scale.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. That's true.
A
And
scale?
what else? Yeah, what is a scale?
Just a set of notes, really.
Uh-huh.
It's just a set of 7 notes.
I think you were more correct the first time. It is any group of notes is a scale. So it doesn't have to be 7. That's what major or minor scales are generally.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of scales. There are 5-note scales. There are 3-note scales. There are 12-note
There's
scales.
3-note scales?
Sure.
What? Do
Yeah.
they have names?
Yeah, I mean, because again, it's like, and you know, there's scales from all over the world. I mean, you know, some people in some parts of the world they can't afford 12 notes. I'm very. It's funny, but I'm very serious. In some parts of the world, you got 3 notes. You better make those 3 notes work. You know what I'm saying? So any group of notes is a scale, and I almost think of it like, again, trying to create this visual language. Like, this is your palette of colors. Okay, you know that this grouping of colors work well together. Okay, so you can create your own scales. You can say, oh, I think this series of notes, no matter how many notes they are, go well together. Okay, and so that's, to me, what a scale is. It's just, it's a group of notes at its base, and then I think to bring it into the world of meaning is this collection of colors that you have access to, that you've chosen as your color set on your easel to create whatever portrait you're creating. Does that make sense to y'all? Okay. So we have our set of colors. Now, I asked you to play C and A minor because I want to point out that now what's interesting is you have the same set of colors, but they felt very different, right? They feel different. Play it again. Play C major for me. Right. Now, I don't know if it feels different to y'all, but it has a different, that's what you would call a mode. So let me ask you a question. What is a mode?
Mode is a scale played in a different order from like a different starting note, but I mean it has like so like if you play the major scale, it's whole, half, whole, half, right?
Sure.
If you play the next mode, you shift that pattern by 1, right? And so like the chords you would build from like stacked thirds out of that have different chord qualities. So like modes kind of have different colors.
Okay, I like that last part because everything you said is technically correct, but I want to apply it in a way that has meaning to us beyond the technical math of it. So you said different colors. To me, modes, another way to think of modes is moods. So you have this set of notes, but depending on the tonal gravity or where your starting point, it feels very different, right? Okay, will you be our bass player?
Okay, yeah.
Can you play E, like an octave E? No, just octaves. Play it a little lower so it's like we get bassy. All right, now play the C major scale starting from E. Starting from E. And back down. Okay, great. Give us E just so we have that. Play it again. Good. Keep playing that E for me. So again, so you have these different moods, and we're just so like we can nail the idea in. Let me be clear. So yeah, if we're just in E, yeah, go ahead. Oh, okay, we have a split. Okay.
Yeah, split it.
Okay, stop for a second. So that is, again, that's just the C major scale, but now we're in Phrygian. So that has a very different texture than C major does. Let's try it one more. Let's go, if you can, let's play G. G in the bass. Okay, good, yeah, give us some G. Play the scale again, starting from G. Yes. Yes. Okay, keep it going, right. Right? Okay, did that feel different than the example before it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Mixolydian. So ultimately, I guess what I'm saying again, it's kind of coming full circle to this greater idea of perspective. You have the same elements But depending on how they're constructed, what you center on, what is your center of focus, it has an incredibly different feeling. Okay, all the same notes, but with a different priority, with a different perspective.
Is mixolydian the dominant one?
That's dominant, yes. That's, yeah, G7, right? To me, that last one felt like sweet. There was like some hope in there. You know, the one before that, the Phrygian, felt a little more dense, a little darker. It's also a common mode that's, you know, it's whenever someone wants to get ethnic, you know, you know what I'm saying. But it is commonly used in like flamenco music.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I hear some Latin like flamenco
You're talking about
vibes.
the
Yeah.
the E one, yeah.
The E felt very kind of powerful. It felt like if we started making something on that, it was gonna get more of like this upbeat, like hype. Like it's about like, I guess hype is really the word I'm looking for. It felt like, oh, we're about to play some shit right now.
Yeah, there's like
this grittiness to it. You know?
You know, maybe that's the of it all. But yeah. God, I'm trying to.
Egyptian's
There's so many things I can say, and I don't want to, you know. Well, you know, I always go too deep, but you guys should look up the concept. This is a little homework for you. Duende.
Duende?
Okay.
How do you spell that?
D-U-E-N-D-E. Duende. Okay.
T-U-E-N. Sorry, one more time.
D-U-E-N-D-E. And part of what I think what's going to be fun is I think you all may find different. It's very interpretive, but the idea of duende, it actually originally is like this idea of the spirit that comes to you through the music, and it's kind of like one interpretation. It's like in the blues. It's that dissonance between the major and the minor third. It's the You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we're playing Phrygian, when you hear this, that space, you could maybe consider that duende. It's that energy, that indescribable energy. That's like, I don't know why this worked. It's like the crack in the voice that actually makes the notes give them more meaning, makes it more powerful. It's that in-between space, right? So, and this is my interpretation. This is based on stuff I've read. This is based on stuff I've seen. But if you look that word up on the internet, you look up 10 different things and you're gonna get 10 different answers, right? But check it out, because I believe that is also Latin in origin, but you can find it in everything. That idea. Okay, so I don't know why I said that. I said that because we're talking about moods.
Yeah.
We're talking about modes. We're talking about scale. So we know the music's in C major.
Big tangent.
And we know it's in C major. We got our dance groove. Now, so again, I want to give us each an assignment. So, all right, now this is where we're going to get a little nerdy, and this is going to kind of be the completion of these ideas for us. Okay, so show me your voicings, guys. Show me what you're playing.
Are we doing the E? Oh no, we're
doing the C, G, A.
Okay.
Okay, nice. Okay, and so we're gonna do a little harmony clinic right now. Okay, so we're just playing. What kind of chords are those called? What are they called? Do you know what the name is?
Major chords.
Major chords.
Triad.
Triads. Right. These are major triads. 3-note chords. So similar, the same way that scales are implying this grouping of notes. Scale is a grouping of notes over time. And then a chord is a group of notes on top of each other at the same time. Or like a choir is a group of harmony. When we sing together, it's a chord, right? Okay. So now, all right, so we have these triads, these 3-note chords. But what does everyone want? Usually what we want a little extra flavor. We want a little extra spice. I want to defend the triad, okay? Even the dyad, power chords. Sometimes all you need is 2 notes. Sometimes that is the right choice because it's a different energy. More notes does not equal better. Please God hear me. More notes does not equal better. Sometimes the energy you want is 2 notes or 3 notes. To me, power chords or triads, they feel very clear. They're very concise. Sometimes they can feel very triumphant because it's just like da-da, right? Like in a classical context, that like clarity of a triad over, once you start adding all these other color tones, which makes it more like, a little more ambiguous. It's pretty, but not necessarily as like, I don't know. I was gonna make a joke about the gender binary or whatever, but like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like it can feel very like direct versus a little bit more like free flowing and ambiguous. So it depends again what you're trying to create. Not one is not better than the other. I just really want to make sure that's clear because everyone wants to play jazz chords even when they don't go. But let's play some jazz chords. Okay, so a couple suggestions. Some easy ways to get color under your hands without thinking too much. We know what the scale is, and we know we have these notes. Okay, so a couple things I might suggest. First, just thinking what is under your hand. So if you added this note, right already. Okay, wait, hold on. I just gotta have a. How do we even do that? Oh, you turn on the split. Okay, nice stuff. All right, so we have. That's an easy way to create some color. Also, I think we have a. Wait, do we have a?
There's a tremolo.
Yeah. No effects for now. Okay, so that rings a certain way. Now here's another example. Under your hands, you have. This is going to sound a little denser, but you could go. See that collection of notes? Right? Just by adding this note right in between your other 2 fingers, you've already created more texture. Thinking about it this way and figuring out which colors feel good to you. You can also say, okay, what's directly above or directly below? What's directly below these 3 notes? The lowest note.
B before them?
Yeah. That's different.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, what's directly... Oh, I just did it.
Yeah.
You see how that sounds different too? And that's only adding 1 color tone. Okay? So yeah, as an example. Now try to maintain, for now, try to make sure you're still hitting your triad. And add 1 additional note in the scale to give you a different color. Let's have Crispy go, and then I also want you on the higher register. So let's let Crispy pick one. Okay, nice. That's a crunchy chord to me.
Mm-hmm.
Play it one more time.
Crunchy.
I think that's beautiful, personally. Okay, now, how about, can you give me another C chord with a different color tone?
I love that B.
Nice. Can you bring it up an octave so we can hear it a little more clearly? Yes.
So it's about to rain.
That's bars.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so all right, and so Caleb, I want to try. So now I want you to try and see if you can find. Guitar's a little more tricky, but let's see if we can find something under your fingers. Yeah, you already got all these cool shapes. I know. But I want you to try and play something maybe you wouldn't ordinarily.
Yeah.
As an example, people say F, like the 4th is an avoid note. I hate that. It's a lie. It's a psyop. Okay. It's just a different texture. Play that shape you played at first. No, the one with F in it. Play that. But make sure you play the G though. Yeah, bring it down a little. Yeah. Does that sound wrong to you guys? Play one more time. Does that sound wrong? You can say it sounds wrong. Like don't let me pressure you.
It might sound better if you.
Well done.
You can also
You can space it
those
out.
with an octave.
Right, sure. But I'm trying to make the point. Yes. To me, that's kind of hot. That's kind of fire. So, number 1, I don't know if you play
That's
F in your C.
beautiful.
Play what?
Play F in your C.
I usually don't ask my
C, D.
You don't have your C?
I don't have
Okay,
my
all right.
Like your
Add
All right.
that E, but on the
All right.
Nice.
Okay, let's give Caleb a little space. Okay, so I want you to F your C.
F your C.
Woo!
Wait, that kind of sounds like Let It Go. Or
Yeah, I was
Let
gonna
It
say that.
Yeah.
The starting, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that
yeah.
personally.
I like that.
Okay, so and that's just one choice. That's what's so cool. You have these 3 chords, and because you have this skeletal structure, now you can start playing with, oh, what if this time I just added the 9, like that D, or this time I add the B, or and you have all these other shapes without going too far off the rails, right?
Yeah.
You have all these access points.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 1. I want y'all to try and add a little color into this progression. Okay? I'm trying to think how effectively we can have you guys play at once. We may need to have you switch off, but I want
Yeah,
you,
like
one person observe, one person
Yeah.
come up with ideas, and then switch off.
Good.
Okay.
You can go first.
We're gonna play a little bit of extended.
The pressure.
Let's try and pick. Can we pick a shape that you wouldn't ordinarily use for each chord? So we picked one for C. Play that C one again, just because I want to hear it again. Now, to be clear, don't hit it all the time necessarily. But when, and I'm gonna say that to you guys too, don't be afraid to stick with your triad. But when you want to add a little then you add one of those color tones, and then it draws attention to it. So when there's gonna be a time when you're like, let me add a little more. There's a time, Jess, where instead of hitting your one I know, you're gonna hit a second note. You see what I'm saying? And it draws attention now. The more you lock into one thing, the more you can draw attention to a second thing. Right? Okay. We're gonna do the same thing for G. So play a normal G voicing for you. Okay. Now, what do you think? What's a shape? What's a color tone maybe you don't ordinarily? Do you use 13s a lot? Like do you use?
I tend to use a lot. Yeah.
Okay, you do a lot of 13s, so not that. Do you do a lot of 9 shapes or no?
I don't do a ton of 9s. Yeah.
Okay.
I could do.
Okay, so let's add the 9. And actually, can you play a triad, add 9 versus?
Yeah.
Okay, pretty nice. Not too intrusive. Like it's just nice and pretty. Let's stick with that. Now A minor. What's a voicing you might not ordinarily use? Do you use like A minor 9 a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Because that's like classic. Yes, beautiful.
Yeah.
But instead, now I think this is a really nice, and it actually makes like things sound like more modern jazz. If instead of always relying on using 7ths, you say no, let me do an omit, and instead do like A minor, add something,
Yeah.
right? So can you do A minor at 11? Yeah, it might give you, it's gonna sound a little bit more fourthy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe do a fourth voicing even.
It's easy to do it on the 5th fret because you can just find whatever the extension you're looking for is when you bar.
Yeah, do like a little bar shape. Yeah, just do a bar shape.
Okay.
Those are fun.
Right? I think it's the 5th.
Right. Okay, great. Harmony. Okay. All right. Is everyone still with me? We're all here? Okay. All right. I'm telling you guys, it's all gonna come together. It's gonna be juicy. It's gonna be juicy. Okay. Now, if we still remember the song, it's gonna be juicy. I know. Bass. Okay. What are you working with right now? What idea have you been meditating on while you've been playing?
I was just trying to figure out what the arpeggios are for the 8th chords, for the 7th chords. So like C. Be like, and then what's the next one? G, right?
Okay, cool. So here's what I'm gonna say for you. So again, we're instead of stacked, it's linear, right? So now I want you to take that shape, and now move one of the notes. So an example would be, this is a funky idea. Play C, E, F. C, E, instead of C, E, G, B, play C, E, F, B.
Wait, that's a D.
C, E, F, and B. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds kind of fun.
Who could it be now?
You see how that, you just move one note, right? And that's a pretty intense like color tone, but now we're in a whole nother stratosphere, right? So do that same thing for me. Try something on G. Move one of the notes. Okay. I love that. Okay, do the same thing for A.
Right. I have to repeat the pattern so that I don't forget it.
Yeah, fair.
Wait. That's not exactly what I was playing before, was it?
It's okay. Again, you're like, it's interpretive. But already I'm hearing so many more colors in what you're playing, right? Okay, so experiment with that while we're playing. I'm giving everyone an assignment. I low key, high key want y'all to sit closer together because I want some voice, joint voiceness.
Harmonies.
Where are you going?
Well,
You're good. I think you're
I
good.
figured they can sit together on the couch.
Oh, that's a better idea.
yeah. Okay. Okay. So a couple things I want to see happen. One, I want to see Selah. I want you to do more like a call and response. So call and response with yourself. So you have this I know idea, and then I want you to leave it. It doesn't have to have words. See what I'm saying? You have your main melody, and try and think of something to respond back to it, a melody line, and then come back. Does that make sense? To I know. So sing as an example. Sing your I know part, if you remember it. Sing any. All right, let's play the music. Let's play the music, and you come up with a melody that fits it. All right. I said it's roughly a song, not, you know. All right. 1, 2, 3, and. Wait, it was like 1.
I got it myself. Yeah. I almost want to get into articulation, but we'll come back to that. For now, yeah. I know. You don't have to do this exactly, but you see what I'm saying? Just have something that responds to your, like, think of it almost as two people, like an affirmation to what the first you were saying. And then the second you respond with like I know, yeah, I know. See what I'm saying? You can add it to the end, you can like give it a response. Does that make sense to you? Yeah. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna try it out. And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna sing the van.
What's the
That's a good question. What I mean to say is you're gonna take the mic and you can sing that same I know part. For now, I just want you to sing that I know part, and Selah, I want you to just kind of like either unison. Once we get to that section, you either unison, or maybe add a harmony. We'll see. It might, we'll see. But mostly just unison, and see if that sticks. Does that make sense?
So.
Okay.
Not sure.
To be clear, just sing the same thing she was singing. Can you go? I know. See, I know. Okay, say, I know.
I know.
See, I know you acting so loud. Okay, this is great. I know. Great. And you can even the vamp. We're not gonna get into what vamps are right now so much, but like just know like we're just gonna repeat this idea, and you can even it's basically it is the Bill Withers thing. I know. So you can go I know. Whatever, like.
So it's the same, but the rhythm changes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Just take that idea and then just start playing with it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay? So, all right, so use your lead, then you're going to come in, back on vocalist, you're going to kill him with the vamp. Lastly,
I just realized
David.
techno is a vamp.
Okay, we'll get to that in the after party. We're going to talk about it. Okay, lastly, okay, so I don't want to bore you to tears with the same. Do you feel locked in with the tambourine part you have already?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to incorporate more of your body. Okay?
It's so hard.
So first of all, you can hit it here, you can hit it.
That's not so bad. I've been doing that.
Okay, see? Brilliant. But what I also want to see, maybe some of this. It's not going to be that precise, but don't be afraid. Try that. Can you just give me a handshake? Yes. So there's 1, 2, like as an example, like this, for variety. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2. So that's a way you can create more texture. Does that make sense? We'll add one technique at a time. But yeah, don't feel uncomfortable. If you want to stand up, you want to throw up behind your back, you know what I mean? Just don't break my shit. Okay. Everyone have their assignment? Do we feel clear on our assignments? The key here, taste. Okay, so you all now you're like, oh, I got my new sauce. This is the ego conversation we all have. Just because you have sauce, don't smother the ingredients, okay? Add it a little bit to taste. To taste. Make sense? Okay. But y'all low key, I want y'all to soar a little bit. I want y'all to be liberal with the spices at this point, okay? Try and let yourself be free, don't feel restricted. We always need to pull back. Make sense, everybody? Okay. All right. Now, still you for now. And then we're gonna, yeah. There's gonna be time. We're gonna extend this jam, give us some space to experiment, and let it go into some directions. Okay? 1, 2, 3, yeah! Nice. Keep it going. Yeah. Alright, lower. Alright, now. Chill out. Okay, now I want you to try and change your phrases a little more. Remember you had all your other ideas? Try and let that idea develop, okay? It can be in response to I know or not. Wherever your brain goes, okay? Yes. Yeah, what time is it? Where the hell are we?
I gotta go. I gotta wake up at like 5 a.m.
Woo! Thanks for coming through. Okay, yeah, this is about right. This is about right.
What's your Venmo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Zavin Plays is the Venmo.
Is it the same as the gem one? Or?
Yes.
Add it in the Instagram.
I absolutely. I'll add it to the group. Thank you all very much. I hope you learned something. Before you all leave, if you need to leave before anyone else, I'll say this really quick. I want to ask you, what is your seed? What do you feel like you're gonna take from the day to work on?
When I was I've been trying to play the bass more recently, and I guess I was trying to be really structured and just like kind of like I was trying to take jazz standards and like play the changes, like play the arpeggios, and I think I was like too kind of rigid. Or at least maybe sometimes you need to learn that stuff in the very beginning, but I think after a while you just kind of break away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, like I'll say, and I'm gonna keep this brief, but I want to make sure everyone has their seed. So, you learn all the patterns, but don't feel pressure to play all the pattern, right? Maybe you're only hitting
Is
1
this
to 2
correct?
notes. Zavin Plays. That's correct. I'm also gonna add it to the IG. But
Okay.
long story short, I just want you to take away the idea that you can be more impressionistic. You don't always have to hit the root, or if you're gonna play a pattern, changing one note to give it a little flavor. I mean, any of us in the melodic, harmonic, y'all too, anybody who's playing with you, just add one extra note that may give it a little bit more texture, give it a unique identity. You don't have to, like, it can become overly mechanical if we're only playing, if it's like only 7th chords, or it's only like in thirds, like, give a little bit more variety. So, and it sounded great. I like the patterns you came up with, and just take that and come up with new ones. To add one new each time you play it. Take the same progression, add a different note on each chord, and see which colors you like the most, and then you're gonna find the ones that like work best for you, and that make your like musical identity.
Yeah, I actually really like, so that first, like, kind of, I was like, I played the first notes and you're like, play this third one instead of the next note in the arpeggio. I just realized, I mean, you were basically just saying that, but like, I think that's a pretty good formula, especially to get started.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you, brother.
Likewise.
Feel free
Thanks,
to-
everyone. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate you. Okay. Caleb, what do you feel like your seed is?
I think
Oh, sorry, is this?
No, you're right, this way. You have to stay forever. No, it just goes straight through there. Go ahead.
I have fun playing music when I feel like when I'm able to play more rhythmically.
Mhm.
At least at this point in time, because I feel like I'm still on my more melodic harmonic journey
Right.
and stuff. So I think finding like voicings and like smaller voicings, like you said, like triads, and moving them in subtle ways.
Yeah.
So that it allows me to like sink into it and play more rhythmically and be like locked in the therapist, as opposed to having to think about what's coming next. So.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, and this is a key for anybody. Like, all that melodic, harmonic stuff is great, but if you hyper obsess about it, like, why not just play the same thing, different rhythmic ideas? You see how much you switching up. I know, right? Like, I feel like we were kind of focusing more on melody with you and more with rhythm with you, but it gave it an entirely new identity. So instead of like being like, oh shit, I've already played the 11 chord, like, no, play it again, but now hit an accent in a different moment, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
these micro variations make a big difference, and it shouldn't be a Herculean task every single time. Like, fuck, what? All right, maybe now if I make it altered chord, like, it shouldn't always be that way. It can if you want it to be that exercise, but it's a lot more fun when you can just be rhythmic, and rhythm is the mother of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like, don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss your mama. Make sure you're respecting your mom, and you and you put emphasis on the different rhythms you can do with the same stuff. Because again, not to belabor the point, but sometimes if you just put it in the right rhythm spot, the same thing you've played over, people aren't even going to know it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It feels entirely different depending on the rhythmic context. Okay, great. I'm gonna turn around.
The seed for me was like what challenged me at first in the beginning was, because sometimes I feel like if I'm just playing chords, I feel like I'm like too repetitive, but I think definitely I'll go back to that moment when you were like play staccato. I felt more free and more. It felt more fun, and it also felt more. I don't have to be on the one, you know, like we're on the two. I could just do these little accents to give everything else room to come in.
Absolutely.
And of course, what you mentioned earlier about adding another note in the triad within the chord.
And yeah, and you're already a great MC, and so you already know how to do this. It's just context. To me, a lot of times it's context. So again, it's like when I'm saying, yeah, pick a different flow. You know what I mean? Like you can navigate the rhythm so many ways, and you can like fly over the rhythm as opposed to always having to be like one. You know, like there's a way of reinforcing the rhythm, and then there's a way of playing against it or playing on top of it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when you got more staccato, you were doing more of that, like being free and playing against it, as opposed to feeling like you have to like march. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4. Like start creating variety that way.
Similar. I'm very one trick pony. I only know how to play chords. I feel like when improvising. So
I really liked your solo, by the way. You were heckling yourself, but it was really good.
But yeah, just playing with more variation, playing with different rhythms, playing with the voicings. Literally just play black and white, so having some color was really nice.
Nice. And I want to point out, just really for piano players, this is technically and just literally a percussion instrument. So don't neglect the rhythmic possibilities of this instrument, because again, we're taught, all right, let's focus on our scales, let's focus on inner voicings, whatever our thing is, this whatever. But get into the rhythmic possibilities, because great players, that's absolutely what they're doing, right? Okay, wonderful. Okay, David.
Well, a few, but I guess an obvious one is like the handshake texture. That's really interesting to me. I had to consciously think about doing that because it's not like a natural groove for me. One big thing is like I don't really think about rhythm with textures, so that was like kind of mind blowing. Not think about that.
I want to point out, I didn't say this earlier, but I saw sometimes to keep time, you were snapping.
That's natural to me.
Feel free to like use your body, not just the tambourine, but like as a percussionist, everything is an instrument if you work hard enough. Okay, this is an instrument, that pillow's an instrument, that TV is an instrument, don't hit my TV. But like everything is an instrument, and it all has its own tone. So allow yourself to like fall into those natural rhythms. I'm thinking next time you're here, I really want to see you stand up and allow yourself to allow your feet to also guide what you're doing, and get into the dance of that rhythm. You know what I'm saying? Like don't work against you've already honed in on the skill set, and you can use it to your advantage. I always say this is like finger dancing, or like drums especially is like very full body, but it's a dance. You're in motion. You're harnessing like precision in motion and finding each other. So especially for the dancers, don't think of it like, oh, this is an entirely new thing. You already have this whole skill set that you can use. Like I heard the phrasing, I heard the rhythms and how you were approaching.
I was just not even sure what was happening. I was too nervous. I was
welcome to music. But I thought it sounded great. Honestly, like I wouldn't lie to you. Like I think you sounded really good.
You were very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And I heard a lot of variety in what you were doing. So you guys are already rhythmically enabled. You know what I mean? Y'all already do that. So just like think of ways you can utilize that and feel it in your body, right? Feel the vibration as you're singing. Like think about how it feels in your face versus in your torso, like, you know, from the ground even, right? Like thinking full body. That's a key. Not everyone, that's a key for anybody. Like don't get hyper obsessed with your fingers or your throat. Like think about like how it feels in your full body, utilizing the full energy of your body to make a sound. That's a whole nother workshop. Okay. Selah, what's your wait, what is your seed? Did I say what's your seed?
What's the seed?
Yeah, I got distracted. Yeah.
Like,
For you, what do you take away from today?
I think honestly it's very new for me. So like I feel everything is like wow, everything is a seed, you know. But I think
Garden. Yeah.
But I think that it's very it's like I think to focus more on the fundamental is like what I I feel like I was drifting sometimes, like trying to think what am I gonna do next, and not trying to really concentrate on that and trying to let it come out of that, you know.
Yes.
So I think that is one thing that I will try next time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Whenever you're back or when you're on your own, I think again, like I had a feeling once we found your two-step.
Yeah, exactly.
See what I'm saying? Like once you were able to jump in the water, I feel like it felt free and you were coming up with new ideas, but you just needed that first two-step, and then now you were coming up with other moves. So start investigating that when you're singing along to music, or you know what I mean, like anything. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Stella, what about you? What's your seed?
I guess to not get too comfortable and kind of being like repetitive and sticking to what's familiar, and being able to kind of like trust myself enough to branch out and change up the melody a lot more and go into like some riffs.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that, and to me, again, what I saw was once, because it doesn't have to be one or the other. When you, like, again, you had, the two-step was shared, right? The I know was like, we'll call that the two-step. And then that gave you space to like try things out. But if you ever get lost, you're right back to I know, which is really, that's kind of nice. Like, I know, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, well, I know. Like, I don't know, I know. I don't know, I know. So see, now, if you can take that, I feel like you could be in the I don't know zone for longer, right? Leave more space, more room for you to explore, and then find your way back. Like lengthen that, and then sometimes shorten it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that back and forth, I think that would be a good experiment for you. Yeah. All right, y'all, do we all feel like we learned something?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think that was a new song, I know, dropping on Spotify. But I appreciate you all so much. I hope you come back again. I'm planning on doing this next week Wednesday, I think. I'm gonna like alternate Wednesday, Thursdays, we'll see. But I'll update the group, and I'll give my not myself, I mean sure, but Venmo for anybody and everybody in the chat. But thank you so much. Have a great night. Yeah. And thank you.